Hello and welcome to Record Label Boss with your boy AViiO. As you have probably concluded from the extended intro, we had some technical difficulties which were mostly related to YouTube. But we're gonna start the stream in about 50 seconds and all of our problems should be cleared out. If you want to watch this stream, you're welcome to do so on Reddit. It's currently being broadcast on Distance Socializing on Reddit. Also, it's being broadcast on twitch.tv/recordlabelboss and on the Record Label Boss YouTube channel. And today, for the first time, with surprisingly very little problems on our Discord server. And if you want to join that, you can go to countzerorecords.com/discord, where you'll be able to watch this broadcast as well and also join the chat. As always, we're gathering the chat from all different sources other than Reddit, so if you want to chat with me, you're welcome to do so. Hello and welcome to Record Label Boss. There's a few new things today, and I have to say one thing. I named the stream today, it's going to be very interesting. I named the stream today, Talk to a Real Life Scientist, because today I was reading the news. I read the news a lot, and with everything that's going on various fronts, I feel like there is a climate of anti-science in society. And usually when people think that they're talking to a scientist, they imagine somebody like in a white coat or something. And I'm here to represent the economic and social sciences today. I'm a sociologist and an economist. If you want to talk to me about something, you're very welcome to ask. I want to say hello to Meg's Beauty, Lotta Pitchy, and everybody else who's on the channel. And we got the first question from This My Monica. Scientifically, what's the best sandwich? The best sandwich is the sandwich with the least carbs, because we're eating too much carbs. Generally, you can put probably as much fat and fibrous vegetables on there as if you want, and the fewer carbs it has, especially with the starches, etc. That will be that. That's not within my area of expertise, by the way. But, you know, if you have any questions regarding sociology or economy, you're welcome to ask. My name is AViiO. I listen to music every day, and I try to find new artists for our record label. And aside from that, I also have published some books. You know, it's interesting. Welcome to the show. I hope everything is going great and everybody is receiving the stream without any problems. We're doing some new things here. Number one, everything is in 50 hertz. So we upgraded the stream quality quite a bit. We have essentially an entirely new capture chain, which should make, you know, movement a little bit more natural, but at the same time the stream is compressed down to the same bit rate that it was before, so you shouldn't be experiencing any slowdowns. Also, we're directly going to Twitch and to YouTube, which should be reducing lag visibly, and your messages should appear faster. So let's go and start the show. Have fun. If you have any questions, as always, you're welcome to ask. And we're going to go ahead and have a look at our first reviews for the day here. I'm going to play some music while we can talk about various topics if they interest you. First song is from Scotty Sexy.
What's my state of mind? Why who's asking? Which one of my Teslas in the lot? Why who's asking? Curiosity.
Oh man.
Kill the cat, Carol Baskin.
Kill the cat, okay.
Do it to me in the booth. Why you asking? What's happening? She knew me back.
Right, we got a question from Domi. Where's the distrust in science coming from, especially in the fundamental science? It is my personal belief and also the outcome of my research that decrease in general education levels and decrease in trust in science from lack of understanding thereof usually contributes to the criticism. As science evolves, scientific explanations of things, just things in general, become more and more complex and a lot more difficult to understand. 300 years ago, if a scientist that was involved in geometry, for example, would tell you something and explain it to you, you could understand it. Essentially, how do you get to pi? The number pi, 3.14, whatever. You can explain that to somebody in a compelling way with a wheel in about 5 minutes. And they would be able to understand it, and they would be able to say, okay, I can understand how the guy got to it. I can trace back the steps, and I can do it myself even now. Problem is that over the last 300 years, science has evolved to where things are just a lot more complicated than before. This is what people fancily call the increase in complexity. You are now no longer like Leonardo da Vinci or like Aristotle, a general scientist and knower of everything. You are now a very specifically focused scientist on a very, very small topic, but you drill down very deep to be able to understand it. Me as an economist, for example, I'm always interested in currency and money and inflation, and I spent the better part of 20 years studying that field. And for example, when I look to crypto, I see that even among expert panels, people generally cannot give you a definition of what money is, which is the start of the science. They cannot they cannot tell you what inflation is. They cannot tell you what the difference between the very basics of economy are, because economy has and every other science has gotten to the point of complexity to where you can no longer in 5 minutes easily understand a principle that somebody's putting in front of you. Einstein's theory of relativity is something that you're not going to understand in 5 minutes. The way that modern currency works is something you're not going to understand in 5 minutes. And whatever people don't understand, they distrust. Why is it like that? I don't understand it. I don't think that. And then it shifts from understanding and having a funded opinion about something to believing in something. And this is what's had happened recently, is the believifying of science, where people now start, oh, I believe in this and I believe in that. But in science, there is no belief. There's absolutely no belief. There is facts, and then there's correct and incorrect. But there's no believing. I believe that, I don't know, the earth is a disc. That is in itself should not be part of modern society. But belief replaces the ever-increasing, difficult, actual understanding of science. And most of the people that become disconnected from science and distrust science generally do not have the balls to stand up and say, I don't understand it, and I'm not going to talk about it because I don't know anything about it. People, and this is a new trend, and for me as a sociologist, this is extremely interesting. Everybody wants to have an opinion. Everybody wants to know something about something. Everybody's an expert on COVID. Everybody's now an expert on military. Everybody's an expert on everything that's happening, and everybody's commenting on everything. And our scientists are many times not leading the way with the right thing, because what I need to hear from a surgeon when he's being interviewed about COVID, the correct thing would be to say, I'm a doctor, I'm specialized in surgery, so I'm not going to talk about this subject because I'm not qualified to do so. I don't know. But we have come to into the society where saying, I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm not an expert, ask somebody that maybe really knows about this shit, has become shameful. Nowadays, everybody knows. Everybody will have an opinion, everybody will know something, and everybody will want to voice that and put it on Facebook. And this, on the one side, disconnect of actual knowledge. So a lot of people don't have the actual knowledge anymore, and they replace it by the desire to have opinions and to have emotions. And then, and I have an opinion here, though. Thank you. 420, you look like the coach. Thank you, man. 420 Wheat THC. And 5-star Dawn says, you're right, there's a lot of distrust in modern currency. Yeah. And you can have wonderful discussions with me about currency, but what I see in the crypto space and also in the not crypto space is a whole lot of people talking a lot of bullshit. They're saying the wrong things that are just completely, absolutely, factually, 100% freaking wrong. And if you ever went to university, you would know that. So you have like 10 guys sitting there and everybody talks about currency and not one of them knows even the first thing about it. But everybody's like a star, and I'm like, oh, holy Christ, and this is then reflected on the younger generation, and young people are looking up at these, and they're like, oh, look at this guy, he knows something, crypto is a giant Ponzi scheme. Well, we can talk about it. It's very interesting to talk about it. And I certainly have my own opinions about it. But what I am saying is that whenever you enter a discussion, you should seek to be knowledgeable about the subject and not just flat out pretend and fucking lie like you're competent. And this is a little bit of the problem that we have in society now. The society of winners is what I call it. Everybody needs to be a winner when we all know that to be among the top 10% of society, you have to be incredibly lucky, incredibly fortunate. Your parents need to be rich. You need to be born with a lot of privilege. That's usually how people get there. And there's a lot of pressure in society to be part of the top, to be part of the elite. When the truth is, most people will never be part of the elite. Not in terms of money, not in terms of intellect, but for hundreds of years, that was fine. People said, I have a wonderful house, I have a wonderful wife, I have nice children, my life is good, I'm eating, I'm drinking, I'm happy. Now, you need to have 100,000 people following you. You need to have an opinion about currency. For 30 years, nobody gave a shit about currency. And whenever I wanted to talk to somebody about currency, they said, that is so boring, go away. And now everybody has an opinion about currency because it's in. And tomorrow they're going to have an opinion about, I don't know, electromobility. And the next day they will have an opinion about something because they all feel the need, they feel the compellment to become this hero, to become extraordinary. And everybody wants to be extraordinary when the fact is that most people are not extraordinary. And it's okay. You don't need to be extraordinary. Whoever told you that you need to be extraordinary to be happy? Extraordinary people die just like unextraordinary people. If you look at Tesla, if you look at so many of the greatest scientists in the world, they all died fucking unhappy. And they were great. And if you look at some of the most unimportant people, you know, they die very happy, surrounded by their family in a great house, having a wonderful life. So this fixation, and that goes back to the first question, where's the distrust coming from? Because if you feel the need to be part of the elite, to be part of the top, you need to know everything, then you start making bullshit up. And then emotion and opinion replaces fact because you don't have the facts because you didn't study it. If somebody asks me, how do you do a heart bypass? The only thing I can say is, I don't know, but I have 2 friends who are surgeons. If you want to, I'll call them for you, and they will tell you about it. But I'm not going to. And this is the only thing you could say in things like that. And Domi says, I mean, I kind of get the distrust in complex science. I don't require someone to understand thermodynamics. That's right. But something like flat Earth, you can really disprove at home with a little experiment. That's right. But they just don't want to researchers. The need to believe that you are right. Because when you are right, you are the hero. And it all comes back. This is a personal theory of mine. It's not actually proven. I call it the hero theory. People want to feel like they're the hero. People want to feel like they're the special guy. People want to feel like they're outstanding, like they're great. They have developed this idea. They have developed this understanding. And really, they know what's up. They know that there's a conspiracy doing that. They know that the earth is flat. They know that. And by doing that and believing that, they become the heroes. And this connects them with the rest of society because they are heroes in their own make-believe world. Because there's so much pressure on them from society to be heroes. And this is a lot what happens with political movements as well, where people just go into these like complete fantasy worlds where they are the heroes, their candidate is the hero, and they make up a hero story because they can only be heroes in an alternative reality. And this is very sad. And if I had anything to say, I would tell people, you don't need to be a hero to be lovable. You don't need to be a hero to be liked. And you don't need to be a hero to be somebody. It's not necessary. All right. And Vainika says, I know very little about crypto, so I'm trying to get some opinions. People get their facts from celebrities and athletes nowadays. That's right. Vainika, Vainiak, sorry. I once saw a wonderful interview with a German soccer coach. And he came in and they asked him, there was something going on. I forgot what it was. And they said, Coach, what do you think of this and this? And I could find a video. And he said, why do you ask me? And they said, we want to know your opinion. And you know what he said? He said, I'm a soccer coach. You're asking the wrong guy. If you want to know about this topic, ask an expert that actually knows. I am a soccer coach. And you shouldn't be asking me these questions. And people were very surprised because when you take your opinions, when you take your beliefs about the world from celebrities, not from experts, but from celebrities, what are you doing? You're literally asking the lumberjack how to fly to space, and you're asking the space engineer how to cut down a tree. It boggles my mind that people would care what a soccer player thinks about world politics. I mean, if you love that soccer player, you care on a personal basis, I understand that. But taking your information from somebody who is entirely unqualified, it's just like you have a heart problem, and so you go to your car mechanic and say, hey, what's wrong with my heart? The guy says something, and then you do that. And then you do what the guy... It's crazy. 5-star guy says, I feel like the recent discussion about MMT sparked that interest in currency. Yes, I used to be filled with boring ideas like NGDPLT, inflation targeting, etc. And then bam, here comes MMT. There's a lot of ideas, and it's wonderful to talk about these ideas. I love the ideas that surround cryptocurrency, and I actually met Vitalik Buterin in 2017, and I talked to him, and I said to myself, this boy has no idea about economy, but he's very enthusiastic, because he was really into his shit. You could see that he was a good technological mind, but you could also see that he has absolutely not even the most basic concept of how economy works. That in 2017, I haven't met him since then. So there's that. And Chirogishi says, we were made to believe we will all one day become rock stars and movie gods. That's right, and that's exactly what's wrong. Because we will not all become rock stars. We will not all become movie stars. Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? Hey, yo, shit knows. People, not everybody will be a hero, but you don't have to be a hero. That's the thing. Thanks for the complex answer and the insight, says Domi. You're very welcome. I'm just providing what I have. We need to know what Jarul thinks about this. Yeah, that's what I feel like, Look, I've been an economist for decades, and then people go ask some boxer about currency, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? We have so many brilliant scientists in the economic fields that you could ask, but you're interviewing, I don't know. It's just some random person that got famous by showing his butt. I many times I feel like in the movie Idiocracy, very many times I feel like that the people that know and the people that don't know become more and more disconnected and disrespect each other more and more. It's more so actually the people that don't know disrespecting the people that know. Because they're angry that they are not part of the hero crowd, because they think that scientists are heroes because they have more education than them, they have a degree, etc. When they're just like absolutely the same people. And I mean, intelligence isn't something that is an achievement. You're literally born with it. So when everybody says to me, oh, I did that, or sports people are like, yeah, he's such a great basketball person. I'm like, yeah, he's like 7 foot tall, really muscle built. That is all genetics. It's a lot of the things we were born with, and to think that makes you better than anybody else. Just wake up one day and be born with it, kind of like like, I don't know, Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and other people were born into money. Just wake up one day, have hundreds of thousands of dollars, start your business, and then tell everybody how great you are because you had that, Be like Gary Vee, inherit $1 million company, and then tell everybody how to do a startup. When it was your fucking father that built the company, and you just inherited it. So... and this is again feeding into the hero myth. They're on TikTok telling everybody how much of a hero they are, when they should be on TikTok telling everybody how grateful they are to their parents and to society that gave them the money, that gave them the privilege, and that gave them the opportunity to get to where they are now. Because if they were born as a poor kid in Nigeria, they would not be where they are right now. They're only there because of their birthright. And you cannot talk about this. If you do, people will shun you. People will be very angry at you and say, that is not true. They made it all themselves, because that's what they're saying. Yeah, of course. All right. How do we feel about the rush to get off fossil fuels? I think that as an economist, the necessity is to get off of limited fuels. Fuels that are limited are inherently limited, and someday they will be out. So there is absolutely a need to get off limited resources. We need to move from a limited resource society to an unlimited resource society. Once we make that, we will actually take the next step. But as long as we're working with limited resources of any kind, and I know that's a tall order, we're limiting ourselves. We need to do everything we do with unlimited resources, with stuff that's readily available. Does that have to be in 2 seconds? Does it have to be in 5 minutes? No, because it cannot be. There's not even this discussion about things. If can we all just not burn oil in the next 3 years? it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, it's useless talking about it, but the goal has to be to get off limited resources completely. For energy, that means something else than for manufacturing. And for consumption, it means something else than for science. It means something for everybody, but it's something different in every field. But there's no question that we need to get off of limited resources, or eventually we're going to destroy the earth and then we're going to be fucking done. So there is no question. And then it's a question of the time frame. Yeah, how fast can we? In 2010, I predicted, and there's some people that know me since then, that by 2030 we will have electromobility as the major form of transport in the sector of vehicles under 2 tons. And people laughed at me. People literally laughed at me, and I got a lot of shit for this. And I think it's going to become a reality now. By 2030, we're probably going to be seeing 60% EVs, tonnage under 2, not the really big cars, smaller cars. But there's definitely something changing, and this needs to be. This needs to continue. We need to get off of limited resources. AViiiO says scientists should be the heroes more so than athletes. There's another thing I wanted to say. There's a thing. I will tell you a story. So I used to work in a company where sports achievements were greatly celebrated by the management. We had people that would run marathons, people that would do some form of competitive skiing, some form of any kind of sport, and people would celebrate that, and people would carry that in front of themselves, and people would say, yeah, I did this, I did that, and the entire management team would clap for them as well, and things like that. And when people ask me what kind of like my deal was, what's my hobby, I said science, and they said, what are you really good in? And I said, I'm really smart. And people said, no, without joking, what's the thing? And I said, yeah, I'm really smart. I have an IQ of 146. I'm smarter than 99.9% of the world's population, and I really like to think. And people were really upset about this, but because by saying that, I had offended them by implying that they're less intelligent. But they have no problem implying that they're stronger, they're faster, they can run farther. And they can do all these things. And I said, what's the problem here? You're saying you're the best in marathon. You're saying you're the best in that. You're saying you're the best in that. And I'm saying I'm the best in thinking. I'm really smart, and I'm probably the smartest person in this room. People were fucking upset about it. And the only guy that came to me was the guy that was the best in sport outside of the doors, and he said to me, you know what? Everybody has their pursuit, and your pursuit is science and smartness, and I really respect that. And these other guys, they just don't get it, because I pursue sports. He was he was a manager, but he was also really, really, really into sports. And he said, I respect the pursuit of excellence, and everybody who's a winner needs to have that kind of mentality, and you have a winning mentality for a scientist, and and so it was kind of interesting, and this put me on the thing that people disrespect science and smartness, but they glorify sport. Sports people are superstars. They're greatly wanted. Everybody claps for them. But if you say I'm about 3 times as smart as the soccer player, people will be fucking upset about it. And I don't know why. They are allowed to say that they're stronger than me, they're faster than me, they're bigger than me, they can shoot better hoops than me. All of that is true. But if I say I'm a lot smarter than all of these guys, then it's like, oh, you're a hypocrite, you're a snob, you're whatnot, you know? I don't know. And we need to get out of this shit. We need to understand that humans are diverse. People can do certain things, and one person can do this, other person can do that, and it's all great. And nobody needs to be a hero. Okay. 5-star guy says, agree, but I think idiocracy is still better because Camacho turned out to be the smartest guy in the world to fix it. Wayne says, people get famous nowadays for pranking people in public or acting stupid. Hopefully the fad will burn out. Yeah, I hope so. How effective are carbon taxes in dealing with CO2 emissions? I've been doing a lot with that. I've been hurrying back and forth as to whether it can make an impact on low-income families in rural areas. Okay, carbon taxes. We had the first implementation of carbon taxes in Europe was probably about 10 years ago, and nobody noticed it. And that's because it was never executed. And this has been hampering the entire world for decades. We've always had CO2 legislation anywhere in America, in Europe, but it was never made to where people would actually have to comply. And if you create laws in your society that you at the same time say nobody has to follow these laws, they're like entirely just like do it if you want, and if you don't, it's okay too, then of course they will have no impact whatsoever. And when people ask me about CO2, I always said they're going to be less effective than what you want, because of the concept of externalization of environment costs. Environment costs are costs that are incurred by society as a whole, by companies destroying environment that we as humans need to live. Let's imagine for a second that we all live on a lake, and we are all swimming in that lake, and we're drinking the water from that lake. That lake is then very important to us. If we then go ahead and let one of us, let's say we're 10 people, one of us then starts to pollute that lake to make a lot of money. Then the 9 other people will say, wow, you're destroying the lake that we drink from, you're destroying the lake that we're swimming in, and you're making a lot of money with it. That is not okay. And what it is what we call environment costs, which means that the person that makes money by destroying the environment creates costs that he externalizes, which means he is not paying to fix the outflow from his factory to make the lake be in the same position that it was before. He's saving these costs and externalizing them, making entire society pay it. So a lot of people are becoming very rich by externalizing environment costs and having the entirety of society pay for it. Everybody that runs an airline is essentially that. The airline creates a lot of damage for the environment worldwide, but they are not paying to set the environment back to the way that it was. They leave that to the taxpayer. And as long as you externalize environment effects, destroying the environment is always going to be profitable because you're consuming something that you're not paying for. So the solution to all of these things is to internalize environment costs and make every company, every producer, and every entity in the world pay for all the damage that they cause to various factors in environment, and to take that money to then correct what they have destroyed in the environment, and then you would have the true cost of the product. So currently, certain products are too cheap because they externalize all of the environment costs, letting taxpayers pay for it. Why, for example, is gas so cheap in America? Because the environment is destroyed, and the US government has generally decided that when environment is destroyed and people become sick, it's the problem of the people. They will not step into it. And they've also decided that, if they need to destroy environment to gain more oil to keep the prices low, that environmental destruction will also be externalized, and people will have to deal with it. In this way, certain products in our life are very cheap because the full costs of producing these products is not added on to the price of these products. Some products wouldn't be more expensive at all. If you have, for example, a farmer who raises chickens organically. So the chickens are playing in the garden, they're pooping there, they're eating the worms. This chicken would literally be 100% the same price. There's no negative environmental impact. Nothing bad happens from that chicken. You eat it, the chicken living, nothing. Same price. Now take a factory that industrially produces meat and that pollutes the environment to a very high degree, that has a very high amount of density of animals, where a lot of antibiotics are required. These antibiotics go into the water, they pollute the water, people have health issues with it, etc., etc. The cost of the chicken is lower. Why? Because they externalize the environment cost. And if you want to have effective legislation, that legislation needs to take into account environment cost, not only CO2. It's SO2, it's NOx, it's all the various gases, it's particulate matter. It's I mean, shit, the whole opiates, cocaine, and all the other stuff that is in the drinking water, all of that needs to be cleaned out. If we're honest, you can't just put shit in the water and then your entire town is drinking lead poisoned water. And your plant is like, yay, we're making a lot of money because we externalized the lead processing and we just put out the lead to the people. They get poisoned, Flint, Michigan, and we're making a lot of money for it. So whatever there is to externalize in terms of environment cost, effective legislation needs to make sure that nobody's allowed to externalize environment costs. All right, so... And CO2 is a part of that. And that, of course, needs to be enforced. If nobody will come to you and say, look, you just literally killed 100 people with your fucking lead. We're going to fine you like $7 billion. If that doesn't happen, they will keep poisoning people with lead. Why not? They're making money from it, and they have no ethics whatsoever. The basic assumption of American capitalism, that capitalists are ethical, is a complete joke, because usually capitalists are not ethical. They will not behave in an ethical way. And the implicit statement that is always there, that capitalism is totally ethic and they will do only the right things and they will make sure that everybody benefits. Nah, people just aren't ethical. You have to put some guardrails and say, killing people to make a lot of money is not okay. And if you do it, we will come for you. Or there will be enough people in society that will not do it. All right. Do you believe the U.S. economy is doomed? No. I believe that they are... I don't know, about 30 years behind what's currently the state of the art in economic sciences. I think they kind of got stuck in the 60s or 70s when they stopped caring about economy and they only started caring about Cold War and political issues. And eventually they're going to catch up or they're going to degrade further. They're now they're degrading from like a first-rate power to a second-rate power, and that usually starts with things like healthcare, education. 50%, get this, 50% of all PhD candidates in the United States are immigrants, first-generation immigrants. 50%. The PhD, the highest level of in research, 50% are first-generation immigrants. Half of the people in your science system, in the science system of the United States, are not even from there. The only reason why they can still keep their science system going is because they're massively importing people. But what does that mean for your domestic people? It means that the education system that you're offering your own citizens is horrible. Because that is the only explanation for such high rates of Yeah, somebody is asking, is it a political stream now of foreign first generation immigration in science? All right, we're gonna listen to some music. All right, that's what I'm doing, isn't it? And yet, degradation of a society can always, if you look at the education system of a society, you know where they will be in a generation. So if you look at look at the 14-year-old kids, then, and how do they compare to the world, then you know where this country will be in 20 years from now, in 20, 30 years from now. All right. Okay, track. I'm gonna review with some improvable vocals and an okay flow. All the best and cheers. Let me some. Would work on production. Probably all that, yeah. All right, let's listen to another song while we talk about it. I got so many good questions. H1B B-size America's Savior, yeah. That is, what does that mean for the people that live there? How does your country respect you as a person less than a person that is immigrating? I cannot understand that, you know. And Ivy Guitar says, "Hey man, I really want you to check out my new album, and you just want your opinion on it. I sent it and promote your music." Okay, I'm gonna check it out today. So it's music and science. Maybe that's a new thing for the stream. I'm really passionate about both, you know. And Vaniac, the question about the doomed US economy, I don't think so. I just think that they need to realize that your people are your capital as a nation. Your people are everything. And Vani says, "I got the job." Yeah, Vani got the job, I know. Waiting for the contract. Congratulations, Vani. Talking about music and science, one of my albums is called Science Solo. Very nice. Yeah, we're happy that Vani got the job. Because Vani is awesome. I think this is okay, but it's not good, but it's okay. Okay, track with nice flow and vocals that could use a bit of a upgrade. Great in production. There's a few off-speed stuff. All the best and cheers. There was a few minor production mistakes I heard here that I would probably correct before I would put the song out. And Vani says, if I do similar jobs like you, Avi, should I open a record label after a few years? I don't know, Vani, I don't know anybody that as an economist does not, after 20 to 30 years of working in a corporate environment, think about, you know, creating their own companies, being. Some people are happy with not doing that, and I talk to colleagues regularly, and some people are happy to be employed always, you know. For them, it's okay, you know. Go out of the office, don't think about shit. But I think that we as economists are genuinely well equipped to start our own companies, and far too few people dare do it. Did you know that the rate of founders under economists is the lowest of any science? Less economists start companies than any other science field. More technicians, doctors, etc. start companies than economists. It's the lowest in starting companies is economists, and that's because they're acutely aware of all the problems that you could have and the danger that you're in. They actually understand that only 1 out of 10 companies makes it to the third year, and only 1 out of 100 companies makes it after the 20th year, into a permanent company. And so the success ratio of companies is actually incredibly small. And economists generally have a little bit of a better idea of that than other people. A lot of other people kind of like have this like glorified idea of how business would work. And Vaniac is asking, what's your favorite genre of music? I personally am an electronic music producer, but I've also produced a lot of rap music when I was younger. So I would say, I don't know, EDM, electronic hip-hop, something like that, yeah. And Vaniac says, would a mom and a pop shop society be better overall than a corporate society? No, because you need both. You need large corporations that can innovate on a scale that a mom and pop store cannot. But it doesn't mean that every large corporation has to be run like an organized crime outfit, which in the case of America, many times they are. I mean, I saw the TikTok the other day that they were celebrating. They now have the first union in Amazon. And I congratulate them, but I mean, like, what the fuck? In Europe, it's mandatory to have a union in every company that's larger than 10 people. This complete disenfranchisement of workers and the complete absence of any rights for 90% of the population is just mind-boggling. And the fact that they're celebrating that a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of people finally got a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of rights back is just really, really weird to me. It's very weird. It's like, wow, we're no longer slaves. Like 10 people are no longer slaves. That's great, Who was it? I think it was Michael Moore. There was a TikTok about Michael Moore, some kind of movie he made to where he showed that in Germany, and it's not only Germany, it's many others, 50% of the board members of the supervisory board are workers. It's a mandatory, it's like a actual law that half of your board has to be made up by representatives of the workers. And Germany is fine. Austria is fine. All of these countries where workers and employees do have representation are not any worse off at all. The idea that representation of employed people in your company would make your company worse is absolutely untrue. Because many times they're the people that know what's actually happening on the ground. They're involved in the processes, they're involved in the doing of things, and they can offer a perspective that management 99% of the time just simply does not have. It's just that, a lot of managers are super ego people. There's also a study that there's multiple studies that show that sociopathy is significantly stronger represented in management than it is in labor, which means sociopaths generally want to become managers. And this leaves its mark on society. You'll have generally people that exhibit sociopathic behavior gravitate towards positions of power because this is where their sociopathic behavior becomes normalized. And this, for example, is a very good example of Donald Trump, who's very clearly a sociopath, probably a narcissistic sociopath. Not completely familiar with him as a person, but what I see from the outside is a typical diagnosis of a narcissistic sociopath. And power allows these people to make their own realities up, where they are not sociopaths, but they are actually in the right, you know. So this is one of and this is one of the things where participation of normal people can actually really help and even out the system. Really good. Emerin Hill is, why are we not funding bigger fusion power projects when the science is proven to work when scaled up? So I was actually involved in a very little bit of fusion thingy. And when I was doing it, people were afraid because the accidents that happened with the minification of fusion reactors were pretty severe. So as far as I understood it, making fusion reactors small and safe is currently not really in the books. You can make them safe, but then they're not small. But you would need to make them small in order to power certain applications. You can't have something that's the size of a house. And as far as I know, I'm not an expert on the topic. We briefly talked about this like 10 years ago, I think. And they were saying, okay, we had some tests with certain reactors of a certain size, and it led to like accidents that we would not want to repeat. That's the information that I have. And this is also always a problem. You need to not only have the technology, you need to make the technology work inside of a camera, inside of a computer, inside of something. And there's a long way from the first computer that Konrad Zuse built in Germany, and now that you have your iPhone in your hand, that's like 100 years. So the technology existing and the technology being applicable is usually 100 years between. Maniac says, like Walmart did, Amazon will probably shut that branch down. Yeah, I mean, American capitalists are, other than European capitalists, convinced that workers are the worst pieces of shit that should not have any rights. I, as a European economist, cannot understand that. Why you would be so afraid to give some of the people that make up your company, that make up your success, at least a fucking seat at the table. The chance to say, hey, we don't like this. Maybe we should do something different. I'm not saying you have to do everything they say, because it's not like that. But why would you not give them a seat at the table? Ununderstandable for me completely. So weird. Okay, I'm going to listen to this again because I thought it was pretty nice instrumental. All right, here's a longer question from 5-star AViiO on Reddit. I don't know if you could do a side-by-side comparison between the two labor laws or different state by state in America, and depending on the union can have legislative powers that labor unions don't have in the countries like Sweden or Germany. Okay, so the way that it works in most European countries, and I'm gonna go from my country now, which is Austria, is that in a company that has a supervisory board, which generally is a larger company, it needs to be a JSC, a joint stock company, has a supervisory board, 50% of the people there need to be a representation of labor. When the company is founded, there will be an election among all the people that are in the company that are employed, not managers. I didn't get to vote in the union votes. So they get to vote, and they vote for various factions of unions. New subscriber, Serbi. Thank you, Serbi, for subscribing. You're awesome. It's probably 11 months in a row. Serbi's got to be the number one by now. So thanks for subscribing. By the way, it's really nice if you support the channel and you subscribe. recordlabelboss.com/sub for a sub, and recordlabelboss.com/tip for a tip. All right, I'm going to continue. So Then they vote. We want the Christian Democrat Union. We want the Social Democrat Union. We want the Nationalistic Freedom Union. And they have like a mini election inside that company. And then they elect 2 people from the Nationalist Union, 2 people from the Conservative Union, 2 people from the Social Democrat Union. And these people then make up the union or labor representation, and they will become supervisory board members where they cannot influence the company's decisions, but they are entitled to look at it and to verify it. Thank you for the subscription for Meg's Beauty. Serbi gifted 1 tier sub. Thank you, Serbi, for the gift. Very nice. So all these guys together then have the right to go through various checkup mechanisms. They need to be informed when bigger things are happening. They have the right to query managers and say, what are you doing? They are allowed to check up that everything goes according to law and that everything is okay. They have, however, no operative power, but they can give guidance. So managers like me, for example, will then have to go to the supervisory board, and the supervisory board will then ask them questions. What are you planning on doing? We're going to do this and this. Are you going to hire more people? Yes, that is great. We would like you to go into this and this field if the company management agrees, because then we can make some more, have more employed, have better jobs, etc. Of course, the union would always push for us having more jobs, etc. And I would always say, look, guys, I can only hire people if I can afford it. I can literally not like bankrupt my company. But yeah, we're gonna add jobs as we can. And they're like, yeah, we know you're doing a good job. You're always adding jobs, and all the people that we talk to really like you. And the union in my companies have always been on my side. I found it many times that the union was actually helping me get my point across to other managers, because they thought that I would understand labor much better. And they would come to me and say, look, we have this and this problem, and we're approaching you because we know you understand us. We know you have been a worker in this company also for a while before you became manager. And I would literally anything I did had union support. Oh no, Cerberus says I'm healthy. I lost my best friend yesterday morning. I'm very sorry, Serbi. It always sucks to lose somebody that you love, but you know, a lot of people believe that you go to a better place, and I believe so too. So I think that your friend is in a better place now. I know it's not a consolidation for you, but you know, it's like that. Words. I think we all lost people during COVID, and we lost 2 artists during the COVID thing, and I was really distressed about all of it. What can you do, you know? For artists, it's like you keep their legacy alive. For other people is, I think you keep them alive in your head, what they wanted, who they were, and you keep thinking of them, and then they're just as alive. I personally believe they're not suffering. People don't suffer when they die. I think they're just not here anymore. They're somewhere else. But yeah, I'm sorry, man. Pretty good. We would like to hear more in the future. All the best and cheers. Because it was good. It wasn't good enough, but I thought it was. And Serbi says it's hard being on the phone with his family all day. Yeah, for the family, of course, it's horrible. You can never console people like that. The only advice I can give you as a sociologist to return to science is to actually grieve. A lot of people have this reflex to not grieve, and that is not good. You need to grieve. You need to be sad. You need to acknowledge to yourself that it sucks, that you're sad, and that it's horrible. And you need to allow yourself to be weak for a while, because this is how you get over it. And the people that have problem with a loved one passing are usually people that don't allow themselves to grieve about it, because they feel they need to be strong or some bullshit, you know. But it's not the case. So yeah, 5-star you. This participation in the company's dealings without participating in its operative dealings, but in its goal setting, in the control is something that is different. There is no such thing in the United States, even if you have a union, you know. And Ivy Guitar says, if you like electronic music such as IDM, you might like my album. Yeah, I hope so. And Serby says, I'm one of these people. I normally never have him. Yeah, it's the same. The wonders of being raised away. Yeah, dude, a lot of guys are like that. I had a life filled with adversity. Yeah. So for me, it's also sometimes difficult. But this is an actual scientific advice. Allow yourself to be weak and allow yourself to grieve, because I do know it to be factually true and helpful. You know what I mean? I'm not a psychologist or something, but from the sociological point of view, you know, there's that. All right. Prom night. Okay, track with some good parts. We would like to hear more from you in the future. All the best and cheers. Let's get back to the music, yeah. I'm gonna call this stream Music and Science. And Vaniac is asking, have you ever read Flowers for Algernon? No, I haven't. If so, do you believe there is a kind of trade-off for happiness versus intelligence? No, there isn't. This idea that ignorance creates happiness is something that's very compelling, usually said by smart people about stupid people. It's just when you know more, you have to work through more. So happiness can come to you no matter who you are, no matter how intelligent or unintelligent you are. But the more facts you have about a system, the more facts you have to reconcile in order to create a working model for you. If you're creating the model of life for yourself and your family, and you're smart, you're going to put a lot more factors in there. And once you reconcile all these factors, you're going to have a compelling model for your life. It's going to maybe be on a higher intellectual level, but it's essentially going to be the same model that somebody that has a little bit less education will have. They might not contemplate some things that you contemplated, but it means they also don't need solutions for it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's easier for them, because you are smarter. So you're taking 10 factors into account, and they're taking 5 factors into account, and it will take both of you the same amount of time of contemplation to figure out your life. Because when you are smarter and you have more factors, you also have more capacity to to process these factors. So this thing where people say, yeah, if you're dumb, everything is easy. I know some people that were not so gifted, and that can be incredibly frustrated because they have stressors in their life and they cannot figure out how to get around them because they're not educated enough, they're not smart enough, they're just literally fucking stuck. And I feel that as a smart person, as an educated person, you have a lot of ways to get around shit, whereas if you're uneducated, poor, or dumb, or all three, you tend to get stuck easier. So I don't know. Would I want to be dumb and happy? No. I'm much. If I could be smart as Einstein, and you know, somebody would come and say to me, "You could be smart as Einstein tomorrow. Do you want to take it?" I would say, "Yeah, absolutely." There's absolutely no argument for having less intellect. I know it's different, it's difficult because you can become remote, you can become distant, you have a problem with all kinds of issues, but I would not necessarily choose ignorance over knowledge. If it was for me, I would know everything about the universe. You know, I'm just deeply interested in it. I think it's very interesting to know things. If you're a person of a lower social echelon, things become inevitable to you, unavoidable, unmovable pieces of shit that you cannot get around. Horrible. And Shit Noise says ignorance and want can lead to society's doom. Nice track that feels a bit basic and could maybe be more if well produced fully. All the best and cheers. Oh my god, how many we got today? 10 more. Oh man. 10 more just here. But I got time today. We're having interesting conversations and somewhat good music, so I'm really tired of saying hello, I have a question. Please go ahead and ask it.
If I see the ops outside, then we gon' slide today. We ain't playing with them niggas, been I post today. My homie told me stay inside, to go outside today. Same weapon with a 30, just a different leg. We in the field, we take a loss, we run a different play. My bitch don't worry about no bitches, cause she know her place. She a demon, she might smoke you if you look this way. I know I'm rapping, but it's real, this shit is not a game. I've been chilling around my family, I can hang around new niggas every night.
Who talks more high for us? I don't know, Vani, I don't know. And SCP is asking, do you believe that a true understanding of reality, the universe, is within human capacity? No. I am a believer in the theory that outside of the border is another border. If you approach the infinite in a way that you say, there's a circle, and I'm standing inside of that circle. And the border of the circle is the border to the unknown. And then you step outside of that circle. For example, you discover that there's more than one continent. Your circle then expands and you're now standing in a bigger circle and you find out that there's another border. Because however many times you step outside the circle, there's always going to be another circle and another border and something else to explore. So the definition of the indefinite means there's indefinite complexity in the universe, and we as humans can inherently not understand indefinite complexity. This is what I believe. I believe that we will always be limited to understand a limited scope of reality, and we'll be fine with that. Who gives a shit? I mean, the worms living in the pond, do they really need to understand how jet fuel works? What does it fucking matter for them? People, you know, I'm somebody who's very interested in science, in the new stuff, but you also have to understand that a lot of stuff probably doesn't really matter for you. I don't know anybody who has had a private life application of the theory of relativity for himself yet. Never. It's for things that are on a much higher degree, you know. People, even though we are extremely limited beings, not every understanding is entirely relevant to our existence. We're mudworms. We're going to be fine sitting in the mud, understanding more about the mud. We don't need to understand about, you know, things that have no meaning for us, you know. But yeah, to me the definition of the indefinite, of the unlimited, is that we cannot understand it. Because there's always a border outside of the border. Cool track with some good parts. Would like to hear more in the future. All the best and cheers. We're very limited humans. What if the stars aren't stars at all? They're just the breathing holes poked in the box. Yeah. It's what Lottie said. And that's actually very true. What if? It doesn't matter. To us, it doesn't really matter. Because what does it matter to us if something that we're never going to reach is something else than what we initially thought it would be? You know? I completely agree with exploring all of these things, you know? I would want to be there exploring them. But you also have to understand that 2,000 years ago, people were also eating apples. They were also eating bread. They were also being happy. They were also being sad. They had wives, children, families, cats, you know? Things don't fundamentally change that much. Health has improved a lot. By science, our health has improved greatly. Supply of food has improved greatly. People can now pursue more artistic things because they don't have to worry about food all the fucking time, you know? But we're still people, we're still little, you know, worms sitting in the mud. It's really what we are. Alrighty. Let me, oh man, so many things on Reddit. And I'm really tired, says, so I've been watching a lot of true crime shows and they always have a blood splatter expert. I was wondering if that's an actual thing and if it's a certain thing I can go to school for. In Austria, you can become a doctor and you can specialize in pathology. And those are the people that can then become crime scene investigators. So you can pursue a career in medicine. And the specialization will be called pathology, which is essentially the science of the dead people, as far as I understand it. And the science about, you know, why something dies, why something didn't work out, that kind of stuff. And pathologists generally are the people that work for courts as you know, people that do anything around, like with violent crimes and shit like that. And there's also criminology, but that is something else. If you want to specialize in the medical aspect of things, then you need to be a doctor. Criminology itself is essentially the science of crimes, why they happen, why people are, motivated to do it, what prevents them, that kind of stuff. They're connected, but they're not the same. Criminology is something that you would study if you want to become a detective, and pathology is something you would do if you wanted to be the medical person in charge of determining cause of death, of looking at crime scenes, these kinds of things. Is it something you can specifically study? Yes. Well, I would do pathology. SPC says, I agree. I think we can only understand things from a human perspective, which is limiting. That's right. That's what I completely believe. Maniac says, what I've seen is once you get criminology degree, you can go to training. Yeah, of course you can. There's a crossover. If you're becoming a criminologist, you can do a little bit of medical training, and if you do medical training, you can do a little bit of criminology training as well. There's, of course, a overlap. Luna's Time says, every answer leads me to 2 more questions. Douglas Adams is probably right. Yeah, this is how it is. Complexity increases. When people think that, I will get the answer to something, and then finally I will have no questions anymore, that's completely wrong. Complexity always increases. If you answer that question that you had, you will understand that there's now 5 more questions that you need to answer to progress to the next level of complexity. And it's the same thing in music. People start and they believe music is incredibly simple, and then they go into it deeper and deeper and deeper, and they find out it's a lifelong learning process that has a lot of science behind it and everything, a lot of economy, a lot of stuff behind it. And it's a lot less simple than what people initially thought it might have been. I'm really tired says, would this be like graduate school, or what do you do this during your time getting a criminology? I personally, in Austria, I would either go to university for criminology or a university of medicine, specialize in pathology. But depending on where you live, it's going to be different. Where is all the antimatter? It's out there. Can you please explain the science behind our place? So our place is what I would call a sociological experiment, and has provided a lot of insight to me. It's essentially a land grab thing. So you have 1 million viruses, 1 million bacteria, 1 million humans, and you give them a limited resource, land, space to populate. And then you watch them and see what they do. They will start organizing into subclusters and work together in subclusters, teams. Somebody will draw a flag of this country. Somebody will draw a flag of this country. And other people describe them to the void that will just blank out everything. If you're not familiar with that Reddit thing, it's a huge painting where everybody can paint 1 pixel. And then people can paint over other people's pixels, etc. So you see like a evolving pattern of construction and destruction that is really kind of like akin to a political land map of something. And you'll have people that are constructive, you'll have people that are destructive. It's pretty much an accurate reflection of society, with various leaders either trying to create something or trying to destroy something. And Yo-Yo says at 15 he had at least 5 dream jobs. Wow. Being a unicorn was part of it. Who thinks Avi should shut a show Life Advice with Avi? Yeah, it's fun, It's okay, Okay track with some good parts and some repetitiveness as well. Would like to hear more in the future. All the best and cheers. This dim dum dum dim dum dum. That's just too annoying to keep repeating that all the time.
Yo, you heard about people committing suicide by cop?
Okay, whatever says, do you have any thoughts on fungal beta-glucane and immunostimulation? No, I actually don't. I don't know anything about that. Sorry. Vaniac says, not that I'm sure of. You'd have to Google. Nice try, Dracula. Boo, I come to suck your blood. Thank you for answering my questions. The Google search, thank you. I used to work with a girl who's going to school to become a mortician. No way I could do that. It's a very respectful profession. Somebody needs to take care of our dead. It's been like that for thousands of years. I'm really tired, says sadly. I had a lot of death early in my life. Very sorry to hear that. And I'm used to it. I just can't be a doctor because I can't touch organs and shit. Yeah. Actually, I talked to all of my doctor friends and they say you get over it. In the beginning, it was really hard for them, but after a while, you don't care anymore. I'm really tired, says music is hard. Started rapping with my friends and it took a long time. It always does. SCP says, what do you think will be the biggest scientific breakthrough made in the 21st century? Poor. I don't think there will be a big breakthrough in the 21st century. I think the 21st century will be dedicated to humanity getting their shit together before we can get to the stars. Because what we are lacking is cultural and ethical development. Our technology isn't lacking, but our organization, our politics, our working together, however you want to call it, sociologically, we're lacking so severely that we cannot tackle challenges that would bring us from this planet to the next, which is what we need to do. We still have shit to figure out, like, how do we not make war? How do we not use our resources to destroy each other? So I think the 21st century will be dedicated to us catching up with our technology. Sadly, I would want it to be different. And Lada Pitchy says, I wanted to be an entomologist for a year. Only a year, okay. See, sign was the shit. Mike D's here. Hey, how you doing? And Yo-Yo wanted to be an excavator operator, car mechanic, or race car driver. Very cool. All cool things, all cool things. Death by Jew. Okay. Okay, track with a slightly offensive title that could maybe be reconsidered. All the best. Cheers. I mean, even if you this thing, it's the conspiracy theories are the realm of the uneducated. People replace actual knowledge with like stupid ideas of conspiracies that always fit their own desired narrative. It's always the other guys are eating children. It's always like, it's been like that since Caesar and before. Ever since we had recorded history, people have always accused the people that they didn't like of killing children. It's one of these things. If you look into it, whenever somebody wants to discredit somebody else, they always accuse them of doing something bad to children. It's been like that for thousands of years. Because I'm guessing it's one of the most vile acts that we as humans can imagine. Hey Scotty, how you doing? And I'm really tired, says I tried to play bass, but not as a straight man. People made fun of me and destroyed me. What? Why? Why would they do that? Yeah. Enco Lift says, do you think you are compensated well enough for your work? I after 25 years in the corporate environment, I started my own companies, and I now own the Count Zero Records Group and some other companies, and I'm extremely happy, and I've never made less money than I do now. So I made a whole lot more money as a corp manager than I do now, but I have an indefinitely better life now than I had then. And I'm happy every day. Not every day. Sometimes I'm a little bit distressed, you know. I'm like, oh man, it's just not going the way that I wanted to. But my life is a lot better. And that is compensation for me. The thing, the most important good that you have is lifetime. Nobody can buy you lifetime. You cannot expend or get lifetime back. And it's the number one resource. And it's why companies are always trying to distract you from the fact that they want you to give them your lifetime. Because it's actually the most valuable good that you have. So, you know, working overtime is actually very, very, very beneficial for people. So, SCP says, I think scientific progress and conflict war, etc. have always gone hand in hand. Of course, when there's a war of extinction and you have to figure shit out or other people will kill you, that's a pretty powerful motivator. Thoughts on element 115? Nope. Or in a layman's terms, how's the bread? Well, the bread is what I pay myself. When you have your own company, I don't know. What is it? I'm a very humble person. I live well. I'm having a good time. So, and Vani says she got down from a 4-hour commute every day to 1 hour with the new job. See, that's what I call improvement. And Scotty says, I used to check out this book at the library all the time, learn about meteorology, weather and cloud formations. I was going to build a weather station. Yeah, very nice. That is very good. And I'm really tired says, hello, this might not be a topic you can talk about, but as a pansexual man who likes everyone, can you explain the evolution behind me liking the same gender? I don't feel wrong about it. Okay, I can talk to you about the sexes and why we have gay people from a sociological standpoint, and it might offer some insight to you. What people think. So we take this a lot of this knowledge from societies that have very early on recognized the third sex. There's tribal societies that have always recognized the third sex, which included lesbian people, gay people, people that generally were not what their body said that they were, and that were seekers. And these people contributed to something to society that other people could not, because they had a perspective that was unique to their struggle. They were men but had the perspective of women. They were women but had the perspective of men. And societies that had gay people in them were more successful than societies that did not have gay people in them. You can observe this as well also in animal populations. Animal populations that have gay animals generally thrive better than animal populations that don't. Because people that are gay can take care of surplus children. And I'm talking about children where the parents have died. They can take care of the community. They generally are much more evolved in taking care of others than being entirely consumed of taking care of themselves, because many times they don't have offspring themselves. So many times they go into socially beneficial pursuits in a society, big or small, that helps society as a whole thrive and grow, because they themselves don't have any offspring. And people are like, why does this keep happening? And it's because nature probably thinks that a certain percentage of people that are just there to help society and are there to offer a different viewpoint, make that society better. And nature doesn't argue, nature experiments. So the reason why we have gay people and lesbian people and is because societies that have them are more successful. That is the question. Why are they more successful is the really difficult one. And it's, caretaking, different perspective. There's lots of theories surrounding. Bye, Mike. There's some crazy conversations. But this is essentially why. How do you feel about my own manhood? Good. Last time I checked, it was still there. Waniac, how much do you think the Russian sanctions will affect the population and for how long? If the sanctions on Russia are going to be kept up, it is going to completely and utterly obliterate Russia for decades to come. And I pray to God that they will dispose of Putin before that happens, because there's going to be millions of people suffering for the acts of one madman. And it's going to be a great tragedy if Russia and the Russian people will be destroyed. Russia has, and some of you might know I'm Austrian, and Austria is a tiny country. Russia has 3 times the GDP of Austria, and like 100 times the size. The Russian economy is tiny. It's smaller than California. A sanction by Europe cannot be survived by Russia. If Europe keeps this up, it will completely destroy Russia, and there's no way around it. There's no way to replace it with China or anybody else. It's just not going to happen. And Kenny says, why does nature allow people named Gary to exist? Because nature has probably decided that the Garys are necessary. And NKO Lift says, that's cool. It's inspiring to see people to go into the entrepreneurship. Yeah, I did it, and I can definitely recommend it if you want to do it because it makes you happy. If you want to do it because it's something that you like, this thing to where people are saying, I'm gonna be rich. Fuck that. Forget about that. Try to be happy. Don't try to be rich. You're not taking it to your fucking grave, okay? You're gonna die, and none of it is gonna come with you. I'm really says, thank you for answering my questions. See you around. See you. NKO Lift says, could it be that the societies without gay people had already been successful once at that level they could afford for things like homosexuality to occur, and there wasn't a large push to reproduce? Okay, he's about to throw down my camera. Cat. No, because that wouldn't be an argument for the reoccurrence of a gay population. That would be an argument for something that would happen once they have been successful, and now they can allow a certain leeway because they are successful societies, saying that essentially a society becomes successful, then there's negative factors and the society will just stay successful. This is actually not consistent, because if a society that's successful has an increase of negative factors, these negative factors will accumulate, and eventually that society will no longer be successful. So in nature, what we see is that permanent factors are actually factors that we see permanently are factors that are necessary, and they're not affordable. Crime, for example, is affordable, but the question is also very interesting question: is crime necessary? And the answer to that is yes. And that is an even bigger discussion, very interesting one. That's right. Ken says it right. Money can be replaced, but time can't. There is no price you couldn't put on me meeting Ken Tucker. or Mike DeRoche, or Yo-Yo, or Lottie. How much? How much would you pay to lose your friends or the people that you think are great people? Yeah, here, have some money, and then you can buy what? Tennis shoes? A gold chain? Another car? I don't know. Is it really worth something, you know? Stuff? Yellow metal is worth your friendships? Will humanity be around in 1,000 years? Yeah, absolutely. Humanity is extremely resilient. Extremely resilient. And the ability to destroy ourselves is something that we just need to come to terms with, you know? Because every civilization that has a certain degree of power will eventually have the power to destroy itself. That is kind of like not... You need to be able to handle that. And eventually we will have the ability to genetically change ourselves. We'll be able to, you know, make ourselves grow a second head or 3 arms or whatnot. And that type of control also needs to be... Beauty says I removed the cat. Yeah, there's a DSLR camera that was about to fall down because the cat was like, oh man, I'm gonna throw this camera off. Okay, track that has a nice flow but could be a little bit more varied and the vocals a bit improved. All the best and cheers. I don't know. I'm not never a big fan of the breathing vocals, you know. SCP saying, are humans resilient enough to survive an extinction level event? Drastic global warming? Probably, yeah. It depends on how long that extinction level event goes on. But humans might not survive it in the way that we think of humans. They might change and things might happen. Life certainly will probably survive it with a high possibility, and humans also. But if, for example, the Earth explodes, like boof, you know, turns into a ball of fire, then no, you know. So it really depends on the severity of of such an event. But other than the Earth exploding, I'm talking about, you know, natural things like disease, etc. And Ohio Y says, what type of scientist are you? Scientist are you? I'm an economist and sociologist, and I've been working as both for quite a while now, about 30 years. I've published some books, and I work a lot in organizational theory. So the way that people connect with each other was always very interesting to me, which is good if you're a manager, because that's essentially what you do. You organize people and try to, you know, get them to do something that's beneficial for humankind. Here's a hydrate from AViiO Guitar. And not every scientist has a white frock. Frock? Is it a frock? A frock. Frockish. Art thou frockish? It's okay, but okay track with stable vocals. Would like to hear more from you in the future. All the best and cheers. It's not strong enough yet. It's a bit dated, yeah. Vocals, I don't think were strong enough. Sound was 20 years ago. Yep, so today we're talking about science and music. Music and science. Very interesting topic. Having a good time today. By the way, if you want to follow me and be alerted when the stream comes on next time, do go to twitch.tv/recordlabelboss and you can follow me on Twitch and then you get an alert. Bing, bing. Okay, that's a little bit too simple. Okay, track with some good parts, but the vocals are a bit monotonous. Would like to hear more. All the best and cheers. By the way, I finished our Music Bots playlists today. So if you have a Discord server, we are offering a bot for your Discord server that creates a channel where you can listen to fully licensed music. Really cool. You can have your own radio station on your Discord server. And it's actually legal.
They know I'm lit, they know I'll be flexing, shout to who's headache. All they say that I couldn't be talking about me, that's actually everything I be. Holistic, trying to make you miss it and forever stopping, cause now we're every single person who tried to blame me and did up in such a bad situation. Yo, bro, they gonna love you, one for them, you beneficial, no one.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the vocals here. Okay, track that has some good parts, but I'm not sure that the vocals work out at all. All the best and cheers. Yeah. Alright, what we got there? Ballade sur la terre. Okay. By the way, if you want your chat to appear here, join us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/recordlabelboss. Mon cœur. That is two chansons. Ooh, ah! Where did it go? It went bye-byes. Interesting track with good parts that I'm not sure of the commercial potential of. All the best and cheers. If it's too ethno, if it's too, world music, then of course there's going to be people that love this, but I don't really, not sure of the mass appeal of it. Powerful system, metal, rock, punk. Okay. Okay.
You know how it started. You don't know how it will end. When it will end, if it will end. You remember the first time.
Meh.
Of a million last times. When the last
Nah.
is yet to come.
Music better than vocals.
Look into the abyss. Walls enough to drown you. There's no escape for the one who owns the truth.
Yeah, music is okay, but I'm not sure if he should sing. Okay, and interesting music. That's a bit offbeat. That's a bit music that is definitely creative, but I am not sure the vocals work out. All the best. And cheers. You know, I don't know. Yeah, it's all over the place. Okay, somebody's filming his Ableton.
Envoie porte le bois ça boy, comme Eden Hazard boy, l'encule le hasard boy, j'ai fini seul. Envoie porte le bois ça.
Okay, basic track with vocals that don't seem to work out. Would work on them and change the VFX as well. Oh, yeah, I don't like the VFX on this one. Mostly some bit of a crappy All right, let me go into the promote your own music room here on live on our Discord. All right, and let me turn that on. Here, the camera. We're gonna turn this off, and we're gonna turn this on. All right, so we're gonna go to our Discord server where we have a room that's called Promote Your Own Music, where young musicians are allowed to post their creations, and we're gonna listen to them. And we have one of them here, which is Shit Noises here, and other people are also here. So let's go from the top. That's what we need to do. We need to be fair. We need to start at the top. Where was the last thing I happened to? Wanksy, a little sketch by Wanksy. Okay, let's listen to it.
Now we are 17, just waiting for a dream. You wish to be a teen forever. Don't wanna compromise, and I like if you're wise. So go and spend your time.
Okay, let's skip forward a bit.
Don't call me for a dream.
Okay, this is the very basic Wanksy. If you're watching this, that was okay, but you gotta work on your recording game. That I know I sounded like that when I started recording myself too, but you really need to step it up, because this way it's not really gonna work out But you know, everybody starts there, and you can sing and play the guitar. That's good. Next one is That Boy JT.
Rich nigga on the way, drop another beat, can hear it, that's that here and there. Right up from the city, I'm staying, get a nigga with some taste, pulling up in a McLaren, stupid niggas in my face.
Okay, JT, you got a while to go with your vocals, because it's currently not really great. You know, you gotta, what do I always say? Vary pitch and vary cadence. Next one, Dubai by Brother EJ.
Gotta drop the top, babe. Pull up at my spot, babe. We gon' do a line, babe. Other niggas calm, babe. Hope you get a slime, babe. Come doing time, man. Other bitches calm, babe.
Yeah, nothing different. I be swimming while I'm in it, babe. You be scratching, licking, screaming, kicking, finish, babe. Know you like it, ayy. Pussy tight and keep you fighting, crack. You be stressing, messing, testing, slick aggressive. Why? Take a flight with them tights, fly you to Dubai. Wipe your tears off your face, you don't gotta sigh. On your
Okay, so I think the loop is is okay, but the vocals, I'm really not getting it. All right, next one, Mandem, YT Animals.
Never trying to bring you down, always trying to raise you up. Been my girl for a minute, never really had enough. Think you got it twisted, I'm the one that you can really trust. Got you in your feelings, you the hands, the arms I wanna cuff. You're the one that I've been feeling, all the things that we've been building. Think about us having children, you're the one that I've been swaying. Yeah. Trying to take you on vacation.
Yeah, the only dynamics can.
Everything's been feeling sacred. Got you on the bed, naked, feeling that we gotta make it. Love is how we gotta take it. All these problems that we. Yeah.
Generally, it's always a problem with newer artists that they're too monotonous. They're like doing the same thing over and over. Okay, Clay the King, Mask. Okay, a bit longish intro. Longish. Okay, I'm gonna skip. Yeah, the vocals, no. Okay, B-Baller. No, who's that? J26, sorry. Welcome to the world. What's up with the long intros?
Please give me a chance. All I need is one more day. I can take you on a trip to France.
And 420 is saying, how you doing? I'm doing good.
And on a stormy day we can rain dance. And the money cause I get it in advance. Or in the forest we can pray. Never thought I'd find true love again.
Alright, that was vocals as usual. Melty Cheese, Drew, Hypnosis. Okay. I like that so many young musicians come to our server and put their stuff there, you know? A lot of it isn't like excellent, but that's not the point. When you were 14, what did you do, you know? Okay, this is where a drop should be. Okay, let me just skip a little bit here. Yeah, song structure. He needs to like structure it a little bit more, make the intro, make a raise, boom, drop a chorus, you know. But, you know, over time it will come. It will come. Next one. Brother EJ, fuck hot girls summer.
Yeah, I miss you, hard enough to forget you. You in my mind, even though I'm not with you. Pick your poison, love or loneliness.
And 420 is asking if space is infinite doesn't mean everything has happened and is happening. No. Just because the perception of time varies doesn't mean that time varies. Only the perception of time varies. Time itself is fairly consistent other than around a black hole where time actually changes. But what people generally have a problem with is to keep apart variance of perception of time and actual variance in time. Okay, it was yeah. Low key, waiting for something, brother EJ Benz. Yeah, okay, but you know. What is that? Instagram? Yeah, that doesn't work. Somebody put an Instagram here. Hikari is back. Space is trippy, yeah. The question is there something outside of space, you know? That would be really interesting, but then again, I'm never gonna find out because that's gonna take us another 2,000 years to find out. It's not gonna be in my lifetime. You know, science goals. Brother EJ Shits. That is so wonderful that you're calling your song Shits. He probably had the shits.
No more Nuno's Roof Chris, take out my stakes, flying out the states, 100K to my bank, roll up pounds that day.
Okay, vocals.
I don't think they understand.
YT Animals, Cloud9.
I've been feeling so alone. So coming for my old ways. I keep moving on, they be stuck on the old days. Yeah, I just wanna live while I can. I just need my day, just give me promo. Always coming up short, a bunch of Tony Romos. The chapter closing, no. Focused on myself and all the problems I got.
It's a little bit confusing. Yes, but I don't know. Sir Shada Beats. Confusing is always difficult. If your listeners are confused, then they would be moving really slow if they're trippy, yeah. Okay. A lot of the material that I'm receiving here is stuff that just isn't really ready for a release because there's some work to be done in vocals, in production, etc. But it gives you kind of like an overlook of where the young artist stands. Are they able to make complete songs already, or are they still, working on the first, second, and third bits of that then make up a song, All right, Ethan 157, Grimm's Life is a Game. Very, very slow intro. Creeping slow intro. Gonna skip. Yeah, this talking stuff doesn't work. I there's a lot of people that do this talking stuff because they can't sing or rap, but it generally doesn't work. There is, let me think. Currently, I don't think we've had a year in the last 5 years where a talking song ever made it into Billboard. It's just doesn't happen. It's something that... Linktree. What am I going to do with a Linktree? I'm going to school, but I'm making music. That's good, Jared. What am I going to do with your Linktree? Live stream alert? Shit noise. What is that? Bandcamp. What the... I really hate where I have to go off-site. Most of today's songs confuse me, says Vani. Guess I am really stuck in the old music. Yeah, because you're like me, we're old people. Wait, actually, never mind. Yeah, I'm on the Bandcamp thingy. IV by IV, Tarragon. That's your album, IV Guitar, right? Okay, that's a teensy bit repetitive. Is something gonna happen? Okay, the first one was too repetitive. Let's listen to this other stuff. Nah, Vani's young. She's a young girl, barely 18. Lots of interesting noise going on here. Sounds like what I do when I'm in the studio and I'm fucking around with my synths. Yeah. I'm getting the feeling what I need to tell you. Because you are a sound creator, and I used to be a sound creator too. Yep. You create soundscapes. Yep. That's exactly what I did. Okay, my man, so you're creating soundscapes. Endless Runner. You need to progress from creating soundscapes to creating actual songs. Structured songs. I know that it's great fun to create soundscapes and I like doing it and I can totally get lost in it, but for the public you need to create songs with a structure. You need to take your creativity and put it in a structure and progress from soundscapes to actual songs, and then you're going to be more successful. If you don't want that, that's okay too. But if you want to be successful in terms of like commercially or like people want to listen to your shit, then you're going to have to graduate from soundscapes to songs. Yeah. Beginnings. But even here with the guitar, it's still more soundscape than anything else. That is nothing negative. But this is definitely what I would do. If I were you, because obviously you're experimenting with lots of instruments and sounds, and that's good. There's creativity there, but structure. You're gonna need to channel your creativity into melodic structure, into song structure. This is what I would say, because you have a lot of interesting things going on, the bleeps and bloops and the various instruments and things like that. But that needs to be channeled a little bit. And if you go to the, I don't know, we had some information up on song structure. Maybe I'll put it up again on the Discord. But if you look up song structure on Wikipedia or other places, you'll be able to find that. And I think that this is what you need, because every song I've heard so far has, like, the number one thing it would need is a song structure. It's essentially this like kind of like live jamming. A lot of people have that when they make electronic sets, and they kind of like jam out, which works if you're DJing or you're doing some kind of set like that, and you're creating super cool soundscapes in a club. But for recorded music, what we're kind of like talking about here, things need to have a structure, because in recorded music you have 3 minutes and 30, and then people will turn you off. Quite frankly, you have like 5 to 7 seconds before people will turn you off, so you need to really immediately impress people and drag them in. And need to do that. That's all. That's really important. Let me see what I got here. Somebody pinging me in or whatnot. Oh yeah, look at that record label boss. Record boss label. That's me. All right, let's jebote, glupok život mater. Let's listen to some more music that is on one of our many submission sites. But for AViiiO, if you want to take my advice, do the next album every song structured, and then send it to me. If you need help, let me know in Discord. I'll give you my input on your music creation. Cause you got like bunch of albums, bunch of sounds, kind of like everything going on, and you need to move into the structured area. Yeah, if you're trying, it's good. You know, there's a definite recipe how that works. Pre-chorus, chorus, verse, chorus, break, chorus, variation, chorus, end. Bunch of song structures that you can look up online. Going to be experimental, IDM, ambient. Yeah. What can I say? If you're going down like very experimental, very ambient, you're going to have a very hard time placing your music. Because unless you're a DJ in a club and you can play your ambient somewhere where people actually will listen to them, it's going to be really difficult to place these things in any kind of commercial situation, you know? It's super hard to promote an album that has like 10-minute ambient tracks on it. Number one, because the amount of people who want to listen to that is rather limited. And number two, because nobody in commercial music will ever play it, because it doesn't fit the 3 minutes and 30 or even less now. Successful Billboard artists now make shorter and shorter songs. And if you're not, then, you know, no radio will play you. People will just not use your shit at all. So you're going to be in like 2% of the music market. And if that's what you want, then that's good, you know. I've been sitting in the VC the whole time. But if you want to go commercial, if you want to have people listen to your stuff, then it's a little bit different. And I'm not saying you should, you know, but you could. Most of the people that come to me and say, you know, how can I, sitting here muted, that's right. Most of the people that come to me say, you know, how can I be successful? How can I get people to listen to my stuff? How can I live from my music? And these are usually the questions. If you want to pursue a career for entirely altruistic, artistic means, like you're making art and it's an expression of yourself, and that's good and fine with you. You don't want to be commercially successful, then you don't need to do that. I'm just saying that commercial success comes with certain rules, like strings attached, and you can choose if you want to, you know, do that. All right, let us listen to some more music, right? And talk about some more science, right? These are good because these are yes, no's, and I like to do yes, no a lot more than writing shit.
With tears of joy.
Somebody did a text-to-speech, right? Not sure, not connecting with it. And by the way, if you're watching, you can see my personal goals below me. 300 followers and 30 subscribers on Twitch. That means that 10% of my followers subscribe. That would be great. And I even made links for it. Record label boss/sub and record label boss/com.tip. You know, here. And VFAB was so nice today to give 2 subscriptions. Just want to say that. Okay, song kind of like doesn't go anywhere. What's a real life scientist? Hans Lander. Hervorragend. Herzlich willkommen, lieber Hans Lander. Alle Österreicher freuen sich ganz besonders. Wir begrüßen Hans Lander. Okay. No. This creeps me out. And so far, this was actually a pretty good idea because I named my stream on Reddit, Talk to a Real Life Scientist, you know? So we got this very interesting mix of things going on here, you know? Very happy with that today. Science and music, music and science, something like that. I don't know. And on the next stream, we will have Vani dancing. Vani's gonna come over to the studio and she's gonna be dancing. Or we're gonna do some pool noodle streaming. That's gonna be great. I'm gonna buy the pool and some of these floaty noodles. Yeah, okay. German rap like 30 years ago. See, Lottie's already like, what? I'm gonna be seeing what? I'm gonna be seeing what? Yeah. Buddy doody doo. Booty booty. Booty booty. Okay. Could be something. Screaming into the void. A man with a red mask. Maybe some kind of chicken or something. I'll go visit Lottie first. I feel what? Already time for a pool stream, yeah. Yo-Yo and I are gonna produce it. There's gonna be a massive pool stream. It's gonna be like lots of girls on pool noodles and stuff. It's gonna be great. And now it's like this ASMR, AMSR, what is it called? Which is so popular. Where people are like, you know, it's so funny. And Lottie says the door is open. I think she refers to the door to the studio. It's a little bit more abstract. I'm reminded a little bit of Dr. Scandy with this. We're gonna find you everywhere.
We must carry on. Just go gently. This river will reach the sea.
Okay.
I could give 5 words to explain it.
Uh-huh.
You're honest and kind, the genuine type. Your smile is contagious. I'm in love with your mind, how you don't care what anybody else is thinking. And it grows with time, these feelings inside outgrew my birthday wishes. I know we use those 3 words a lot, but we never seem to stop and tell each other why. So why do you love me? Is it my body? Or does it go way, way deeper? Give me a reason. Why do you love me? Never been a true my reader, the best kept secret. I'm still yet to learn.
Yeah.
Why do you love me? Why?
Yeah, good. Yep, saved. That was actually pretty well produced. Nothing majorly wrong. Some choices I would have made differently to bit different structure, but that was okay. And Legion Paradise says, can we just make it a make AI take over already? I don't work anymore. I believe, Legion, that is eventually what's going to happen. I think that people will eventually completely be liberated from working anything as robots, and AI will take over basic manufacturing completely. And then once we as humans are completely free to pursue knowledge, I think this is when we will see the next big age of exploration, like we had, like the computer age kind of like really triggered innovation there. And from the 1900s to the 2000s, lots of things changed, you know. And I think we're entering a little bit of a downturn at the moment. And then once we figure out that we don't need to fight over resources, and we can just, make sure that everybody has enough, and then we can all pursue knowledge. It's going to take another 200 years. Then we're going to see another age, another golden age. That's what I think. But I won't be around for that. I'm just here at the tail end of the computer age. Oh yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Rainbow, rainbow, happiness, rainbow, la 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 la. Wani says my birthday's next week. Oh, we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna celebrate Vani's birthday with a Vani birthday stream. She's gonna be on the stream.
Original songs to sing while we try to make our own way. Chapters in the book of life. We're living through the pages that we write.
It's on a Monday. Oh, we're gonna bring Vani into the studio. Morning. And then she's gonna impress us with her Schweizerdeutsch. Ja, grüezi, auf Wiedersehen. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. She's gonna show us how to do rösti. Yeah.
Hello there. Do you, a loved one, or a family member have a substance abuse problem?
Honey, would you like to say?
And tell me who you buy from. I smoked an eighth of it and I ain't even high, son. Get it, can you hear me now? Do you have Horizon? Listens on the fucking climb, edit hype horizons. I only just got here, I can hear the sirens. They know how to spot fear and I don't wanna die, son. But I wanna try some. What you got? I gotta have it. 13
Interesting thing. Also loved the content and everything, but the vocals were not, sung about drugs. It wasn't well conducted enough. And Legion says working side by side with AI would be pretty cool, especially for mine asteroids. Yeah, we're going to do that. Resources are in space, just hard to collect for now. That's right. I think the next when we truly become a spacefaring species is going to be the next time when we really kind of like make bigger progress. Because eventually we're going to discover something that we just don't have here on Earth, and that's going to be pretty cool. I don't know what it's going to be, but... And Yo-Yo says rösti. Yes, please. That's right. And Vani says, I always cook rösti so many times, and I am happy to cook rösti for all of you. Very good. So... very soon, Vani's gonna cook rösti for everybody. Very nice. Schweizer Rösti, ja. Well, she's gonna do Züricher Geschnetzeltes and Rösti. when she comes over, when she comes here. We're gonna invite Yo-Yo, and then she's gonna do Züricher Geschnetzeltes in Rösti for all of us, and it's gonna be good. Hope you won't die from food poisoning. What? Rösti is really not that difficult to make. No tears, only dreams. That's right, Johnny.
Today I feel an underlying sadness. I'm trying to pretend it isn't there. I got up early to look busy, and together I try to do nice things. Give attention to my hair.
Bum, 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 bum.
Coming up to me, and I brace myself for when it's gonna hit. Do it for yourself.
Okay.
Down on my knees.
I don't even know how many songs I've listened to in the last 2 years on the show. Like this week I was checking how many shows I've made so far, but I've been doing it for 2 years now, and one day I gotta count it, but it's hundreds. And then if you count together how many songs I review every time, it's fucking thousands of songs. And I'm like an AI. I'm training myself in being really good in listening to songs and finding patterns and understanding what people need. Or it's crazy when you listen to a lot of songs, you kind of like, you get quicker. You very quickly can evaluate how far an artist is just by hearing a few notes. Really, you're looking, how good is the instrument? Are they in key? Are they, doing any kind of mistakes, not quantized notes, things that are out of tempo? And you can hear all that within 3 seconds, A lot of people say reviewers are shit because they're listening for 5 seconds. But if you're an experienced reviewer, 3 to 5 seconds will give you like 80% of your evaluation. And Ken says the song is the product. Yeah. That's right, song is a product. Entertainment is product, songs are products, it's all products. This is why you should always listen to Ken's songs, because he makes good songs. And you can now listen to Ken's songs if you have a Discord server. You can add our Discord music bot on your server, and then you can type !play space country, and the first songs that are coming up will be Ken Tucker songs. So you can even listen to Ken on your Discord server. Is that not amazing? From the comfort of your own Discord server, you can now listen to the music. Okay. But of course, you can also listen to electronic. My stuff comes up. There's a bunch of playlists built into our Discord music bot. Excellent. And you can find our Discord music bot. It's called Count Zero Records, the music bot. You can find it on TopGG, Discords.com, and other bot listers. So, totally good. It's a trailer. Why are you sending me a trailer? Huh? Weird. Okay. 10-second trailer of a song.
Always in the back of my mind, shiver of my spine. Won't you tell me where the hell I might find a little spot to keep me satisfied? I can't get it, you can see I'm not fine. I can't get it, straight up I'm not the kind. I can't get it, won't you throw your boy a dime? I can't get it, just a little bit to get me by. Burning like a cigarette light. Burning, oh she's an angel in the night. Burning, oh you're a sight for sore eyes. Burning, just keep them.
And Yo-Yo says he thinks it's impossible to die from kartoffelrösti. I think so too. Okay, we're gonna save these guys. Interesting.
Sai, non si vive per accontentare gli altri. Restiamo veri come pochi militanti. Se prendo quota con sta roba siamo falchi. Bello lo stato dalle carte vanno a marchi. Ice cold, schiaccio in faccia a questi Steel LeBron. Fotto un cazzo
Steel LeBron.
dicono, parla come mangi.
Italiani rap.
Ora d'aria siamo in strada, si ricircolo. Fumo con i raga, quale modo rito bro. Se ci provi tu fallisci, don't dirty seton. Quando parte questa roba son pericoloso. Nello spazio si astronauta, guarda prendo il volo. Dylan Marino si spedisce via al bonifico. Questi raga
Not entirely convinced. Not totally bad, but it's good that you have a good life, AViiO. Good life, good wife, good wife, good life. I like this song, says Vani. What? You like Italian rap, Vani? Interesting.
Jour, je le vis dans la chaleur de midi. Hiver sans hiver, j'observe celui qui éblouit, puis je fais.
Comes, but I'm not scared. I'm prepared.
Oh, Vani says she only listens to Italian. What?
Smile up into the air.
Really? I have a hard time finding Italian rap that I like. Their vocals are usually not so great. Also, I'm more stuck to gemelli diversi. It's a very short clip. JX is good too. I'm gonna save him. I don't know. It's so difficult to say. These when people send you Spotify links, Spotify gives you like a 20-second listen, and I know that most songs I only listen to a few seconds, but when it's like a toss-up or you really want to know more about the artist and then you only have 20 seconds of one song, it's really not good. So don't send reviewers your Spotify links. How does one quit drinking? Any advice? That's a good question. But I know it's gonna sound stupid, and I know multiple people that have quit drinking successfully, and the way they did it was that they one day decided, today's the day where I'm gonna quit, and then they actually did it. The trick is not to reduce or anything like that. It's just one day to make the conscious decision. That's it. Put all the alcohol away. Don't buy alcohol. Don't go near where other people are that are drinking. Completely distance yourself from it. And from one day to the next, stop. Unless you're heavily addicted, at which point you kind of like need to scale it down a little bit. It depends on the amount of your usual average consumption per day. But stopping and then having the mental fortitude to not continue doing it. I asked one of my friends who did it if he distracted himself or something, and he said no, I was just totally fed up with who I was. And one day I said I'm going to change it, and then one day I changed it. And I said just like that, and he said yeah. And I've never heard anybody successfully stopping it other than just stopping. And Ken also said, I had to stop drinking cold turkey. I did it. It wasn't easy. Yeah, it's not easy. But there's really no greater, I wouldn't say trick to it, other than, you, before you stop understanding that you really want it, and then you're going to do it, and then just doing it. And Punctual Paradigm says, thank you so much for the... Yeah, I know it's not much of an advice, but we have Ken Tucker here who did it. And I have one of my best friends, he did it the same way. And people that have stopped have said to me that they had like a million ways that they tried before, and then when they were successful, they just stopped. Like, one day you stop and you never touch it again. End of it. No, like, let's reduce it, and on Sundays I'm gonna drink a beer, and on Friday I'm gonna drink a shot, and then I'm gonna drink a whiskey on Sunday or something like that. Nope, just stop. End of it. And Ken says, I replaced alcohol with coffee and stayed away from my friends who drank. Yeah, that's sound advice. Because you wanna try to fill the behavioral gap as good as possible. So if you have a certain behavior or certain rituals that you do when you were drinking, this is why it works so well with replacing it. So instead of making yourself some kind of cocktail or a beer or something, you then make yourself a coffee, and you go stand outside and you drink the coffee, and you're like, that's really good, And you need to stay away from temptation. It's if you're around people who are fucking drinking beer all the time, then it's going to be impossibly difficult for you to stop that. So you need to give yourself make it easy for you. Go home, watch shows where nobody's drinking. Watch some, I don't know, period drama or sci-fi or something that distracts you. Where people aren't drinking, so that you don't even think about it. At the moment, I have Sanremo playlist on repeat, says Vani. Phasing it out never works, is what Ken says. Yeah, I believe you. All the guys that I talked to said phasing out doesn't work. You just need to stop like that. Nivani says, I never drink alcohol. We had my granddad dying from alcohol poisoning and liver failure that shocked the entire family. Tastes better and no hangovers. Yeah, coffee is great. I love coffee. Yeah, it's very punctual. It's punctuated parroting. It's very common in artists to have problems with alcohol. So we have a lot of experience in dealing with alcohol and drug abuse, and also for drugs. By the way, I've never seen anybody successfully come off of something if they didn't just quit, just flat out quit. Any kind of like, I'm gonna do less cocaine than yesterday. I've never seen that work either. You know, all I've ever seen is people using more cocaine once they were on it, and cocaine is very common in the artist community. And you know, it will inevitably lead you to death. Not immediately, but. That good sound. A little bit oldie. And Ken says, watch science documentaries, not much drinking in those things. Yeah. You have to also reward yourself. So while you're getting off alcohol or drugs, I'm gonna save that. Do stuff that you like, you know? Don't be too hard on yourself, you know? Eat more. I'm not saying become fat, but I'm saying, you know, that recognize that when you're stopping to drink, that's a huge thing you're doing. So give yourself a little bit of a leeway. Watch the show that you like, eat some nice food that helps you, drink a coffee or two or three, and understand that what you're doing is hard, and if you succeed, you did something very big and very good for your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to take you off for a ride.
All right, guys, we got about 10 minutes left on Reddit here.
Every time I look in the charity's eyes, watch you fear me, contemplate what you comparing me by. That you dare me, threats near me. You think
and Vonnie says, don't eat her, Rusty.
Family ties. I remember sharing hot water with other.
All right, we're going to listen to a few more songs, and then we're going to get out of here. I'm going to come back on Wednesday with another record label boss at 2000 Central European Time. I'm going to put the same subject in there that worked so well, you know, talk to a real-life scientist. We're going to talk about science and music and life and music, you know. And look at that. Ken says, for every day I stay sober, I treat myself with a night of passion with a cross-eyed nun with a bullwhip. He's such an idiot.
When the tears come streaming down your face, no, you cannot replay.
Yeah, it's a cover, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, we have a no cover rule. I don't know what people keep sending me covers. I like a good cover, but
I'm sure you could have worked it out, but timing was a mess. From Harlem to Brooklyn, off you went.
Brooklyn.
heart is mine. Welcome to the land. Welcome to the land of hopes and dreams. Welcome to the land. Welcome to the land of hopes and dreams.
Organidröstig. Yeah, it's not like I should eat any more potatoes. I need to reduce the amount of carbs I'm eating. I need to totally not eat any carbs for like 3 months. I've gained too much weight during COVID, you know? Crazy. Sitting at home watching Netflix, working and eating isn't the best thing for your health. Yeah, so everybody's been suffering like mental health and everything in COVID, and I've been like, you know, getting stronger every day. Salad. That's good. See, salad is good. We're gonna make some nice Swiss Italian salad. Vogelsalat mit Speck und Kartoffeln. Ja.
What is it that you're hiding? Can you open?
Yeah, Vogelsalat. Don't you know Vogelsalat? I don't know what they call it in Switzerland. Probably Kleine Gützli. It's gotta be something with Ü. Everything is with Ü in Schweizerdeutsch.
Phantoms marching through my memory.
Go. You gotta look it up, Vani. Type Vogelsalat and you'll see it. I'm sure you have it in Switzerland too. In Schweiz. And Schweizer. You know, the Schweizer, they're schwitzing. Schweizer. Nüssli. Why nüssli? It's not a nut. And it's also not balls. Nüssli. Ball salad, nüssli. Nüssli.
You can't have me, you can't have my love.
Okay, no.
No, you got it bad, let them know. Bitch, I can see you bringing the bad out of me. You want the smoke, let it be, let it be, let it be. If I loved you then, they wanna run their mouth. Hard, go from.
Because everything there is I, yeah. Yeah, it's with I and Ü. Vanussi? Jojussi? Avussi? It's all with Ü and I. Gützli? Mützli? Alright guys, I'm gonna start heading out here soon, I want to thank you all for being on Record Label Boss today with me and to talk about science and music. I'm going to come back on Wednesday at 2000 Central European Time. We're going to talk some more about science and music and life. We're going to review music from artists from all around the world, and we're going to talk about science and the human condition. Goodsly Moodsly with my friends Yo-Yo and Vani and many other people. I want to say thank you to everybody for being on the stream today. If you're interested in more of it, you can go to recordlabelboss.com. There's a bunch of links from me in there, like to YouTube channel and stuff. And if you want to be alerted about the next stream, you can do that on Twitch. Twitch.tv/recordlabelboss. And you'll get another alert when I'm online. If you want to submit music to us at Count Zero Records, you're welcome to do so at demosubmission.com. And if you like Discord, you can join us on our Discord. That's countzerorecords.com/Discord, and then you'll get a server invite. Thanks for being on the show today, and thanks for being awesome. Have a good night. Sleep well. And have 2 good working days, and I see you on Wednesday. Is that my heart? No, the heart is here. The heart is here, right? Going. The heart is here. Thanks for being online. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Goodbye. Join us next time on Wednesday, 2000 Central European Time. If you're interested in more of Record Label Boss, you're welcome to go to twitch.tv/recordlabelboss, where you can see the shows from the past. Or you can go to recordlabelboss.com and check out all the socials for our show. Thanks for watching. And in case you're wondering, this is my song Estoy. If you want to hear it, you can go to YouTube or anywhere else. My name is AViiO, and this was Record Label Boss. I'll see you on Wednesday. Love you all.